I know I said, Trump, he does his agenda. Polls be damned, voters be damned. He's got an agenda. He's going to carry it out. The next thing I want to talk about would be the counter example to this. And that is probably the funniest thing that happened in the last couple of weeks is Trump's Justice Department and FBI coming out and just saying, Epstein, who dat? Nothing to see here. He killed himself. He wasn't murdered. And there is no client list. This is literally 2 weeks or so, like a month after his attorney general went on TV and said, I have the client list on my desk.
It got lost. You know, like when the janitors come in at your office job and, you just got a mess of papers on your desk. And sometimes they throw away that one important piece of paper. And that was your only backup. It's gone. It doesn't matter. Stop asking about it.
Well, actually, what happened was she took a look at it. And I hate to say this, faves were implicated.
Yeah.
Also, I'm really confused because typically nomenclature, like Epstein Black Book, right?
Yeah.
That's constantly talking. Epstein Black Book. And Pam Bondi is like Epstein Client List. Well, what is it? What the hell? It's a switcheroo.
I mean, the client list, that is a good point. Like putting it in those terms, I always thought was, I mean, it is part of this sort of like co-opting of the whole Epstein thing. It all started when John Kennedy, that guy who pretends to be Foghorn Leghorn from Louisiana, one of their senators, started talking about it. And, the Daily Wire would put out like an Epstein didn't kill himself, like ugly Christmas sweater. And you would think, hey, remember what country he was running a blackmail ring for, Daily Wire? But you could see this coming, that there would be a QAnon and then moronification of the whole Epstein thing, and it would lose meaningless. It would be divorced from all context and the actual horrifying reality of what it is. And like just saying that Epstein had a Google Doc that was like list of all my clients,
list of child fuckers.
Yeah, that he was, you would come to the island and put your card into like one of those square machines that never works. And they would turn it around, to turn the iPad around for you. That is like, it's obviously like, a salacious and like ultimately counterintuitive way to understand it, because it is, if you are cynical, you can say, oh, well, there's no client list, but just in the pure true matter of fact that there were people, several, probably dozens of people who were deeply involved in this and have faced no criminal proceedings. I mean, that's obviously the real thing here. But that is, people go in the other direction of going, well, there's no client list. So, maybe there was like Prince Andrew, a couple other scumbags, but really this was just Jeffrey and Ghislaine. They were doing that thing from the Beavis and Butthead episode where they keep passing the same dollar back and forth and sell each other all their candy from the fundraiser. They were doing a very evil version of that.
I also think that this is like a semi-clever obfuscation, because we know plenty of people who were involved with Epstein. Even if we don't know that, Trump was balls deep in it, as it were, he's been pictured with Epstein. We know about Prince Andrew. It's like with so many conspiracies, we know the truth of the broad outlines, but people need something to hang on to about the one document that will say the CIA memo that's yes, we killed JFK. People are waiting out for that, looking past the broader truth that we already know.
Well, I mean, not to keep ragging on her, but our pal ContraPoints weighed in on this issue again this week.
Of course she did.
And her basic point was that look, the criminal trials, like really it only implicated Jeffrey and Ghislaine in the abuse of these girls, and then like how Jeffrey Epstein got all that money and why Les Wexner gave him power of attorney.
That's
and,
none of
and
my
paid
business.
Tens of millions of dollars a year for tax advice to a guy who didn't even like basically graduated high school. That's none of our business. And
yeah, Leon Black, the ogre-ish financier, one of the most evil looking guys ever, gave Jeffrey Epstein like $200 million for what he said was tax advice. And maybe it really was, for all we know. I mean, again, we hate to keep harping on her. She's only in the top 1,000 of most regretful Chapo guests. It's a long list. It is a long list, so she's safe.
Well, and a rare woman on the regret list also.
That's true. That's true. That is true. But I mean, talk about crackpot realism. Because for that to be your explanation of the whole thing, then, I mean, do you remember that thing about how Epstein had that trust that bought winning lottery tickets? ContraPoints is the only one who believes Jeffrey Epstein's excuse. How did I make all this money? I won the lottery every day.
He's a lucky guy, that Jeff.
One of the luckiest guys ever.
But like, I'm more interested in, I'm more interested in how this plays out politically on the Trump side of things, because he was asked about, what his FBI and Department of Justice and the White House, and his response was to the reporter who asked him about it, "Are you still talking about Epstein? This guy hasn't
been bringing up old shit.
This guy has been talked about for years. Are people still talking about this creep? I can't believe you're asking a question about Epstein." And this is like a good chunk of his appeal to a lot of his voters was that they were hoping that the client list would be revealed and all the sickos would get rounded up and arrested. And now he's just like, "Why are you asking me about that?" Did you see the JD Vance tweet where he was just like, "If you're a journalist not looking into this, like, we all know what's going on here." Like,
well, he also had that tweet about like, "Hey, remember like how this implicated people in the highest like rings of power, and then it just went away." There's always a tweet. Well, and also like, how funny is this in retrospect? Like several months back, where he gathered like Cernovich and people for that absolutely embarrassing pageant where they all held up like binders that said like Jeffrey Epstein dossier volume 1, and then like any of these like weirdos worth their salt were like, yeah, there's nothing new in here. But like, what a pageant that they were made a part of, when their whole thing is like, oh, follow me, you mentally ill people, down this garden path.
I used to like have one of my favorite memories with Matt, actually. I used to have so much fun talking to Trump guys. One of my favorite memories with Matt, and I've told this story on the show a few times, but we were in D.C. the month of Trump's inauguration, and Matt was like a little drunk, and he walked by this
impossible to imagine
very stupid looking man in a cowboy, like a Trump cowboy hat, and he was like, "Fucking idiot," and like went inside to the hotel we were at. I thought it was like, I had like an Amtrak ride at like 4 a.m.
I was quiet.
Yeah, well, he heard you though. He did hear you.
You're never quiet, Matt.
Yeah. He did hear you because he fortunately was like 5'8", but he did the, "You know what I do to people who call me a fucking idiot," which is hilarious because that means it happens all the time. But I didn't like. I think violence is bad. So I calm things down, and his friend there was a taller man in a cowboy hat who was also of the same mind of calming things down. And I used to love like talking to a random Trump guy in a cowboy hat because it was such a fun novelty. And I talked to this guy for like an hour. He was so dumb. I loved him. He said, I love the Clintons. I'm from Arkansas, but this was a once in a lifetime opportunity to elect a businessman. Like I adored
just
this
like
man.
George W. Bush.
Yeah. You could even ask him like, why not vote for George Soros then? But I now when I see a Trump voter, I think they're cattle. I want to whip them because this entire like, we need, hey, it isn't pretty, but we need to abduct everyone's families and like terrify these kids and kick down the doors of preschools and flashbang everyone. It's because of wage competition, right? Wage competition is so bad. We need to do all this shit. And then Trump just comes out and says, well, we've actually talked to everyone who owns a farm, some disgusting agribusiness pig slop runoff concern, or a hotel or a restaurant. And they said, actually, this economy doesn't work if we do that. So we're just going to like terrify the ones we think don't work on farms. And all these people go, great point. Thank you, sir. These people were to all the Epstein stuff, all the, Hillary, here's my hilarious Photoshop of Hillary killing him. And then Trump, I'm reminded of another great Photoshop where Trump is in a certain sperm bank, if people know what I'm talking about. He basically comes out and does that, and people are like, another great point. We need to protect Israel. These people love eating shit. It's insane.
Remember the chant, Hillary for prison, and just Trump in the yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Matt, he said when they asked him about that after, he said, politics is a tough business.
Yep. I mean, I say that, sure. I don't mean that, you fucking idiot. It's like, you're right, sir.
They did it again. He did this for 4 years before, and they were like, let's try it again.
And on an even more sinister level, I think like these people are very happy to look the other way on their pet projects like Epstein client list, just because I think they are so delighted by seeing, like some like Mexican dad being scooped up at his doctor's appointment and like crying, for his kids being left behind. I think that really like gives them their jollies, so they're happy to look past any other broken, half-hearted campaign promises.
Well, I mean, like, it's not just like a half-hearted campaign promise. There was something almost spiritual about the MAGA movement, about how it would redeem America and free us from the grip of these like deep state pedophiles that have infiltrated every aspect of our government. And Trump was the only honest man. He was the only one not compromised by this, which is hilarious to imagine, because there are like the voluminous records of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And actually, bringing that up, I watched that video of them at that party, the clip that, you know what I'm talking about, the clip that everyone always shows.
Yeah.
Okay, like where they're both grinning and Jeffrey Epstein's in sort of the Canadian tuxedo. I gotta say, I haven't seen that video in a long time. Jeffrey Epstein in that video looks demonic. He looks fucking like he's got that gummy smile and tiny teeth, and there's something about the way he's smiling that is horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, like it's bad to judge people on appearances, except if they have the gums of evil, as one Jay Epstein and
Jordan Creamy.
Creamy Jordan, who we talked about last episode. The gums of evil are a huge tell. And I would figure Trump, whenever I talk about it, I feel like Trump, because it sounds like a Trump thing. But he's too stupid to even put that together.
But back to what I was saying about like this was almost like a spiritual mission as part of MAGA that like Jeffrey Epstein was the centerpiece of, and that like maybe it didn't happen in the first Trump term, but it's definitely going to happen in the second term. And the thing is that this was largely promoted by the Trump administration, by when they were running for office. This was like kind of a North Star of, like I said, a kind of spiritual mission to redeem America. And then there was like the big flop of the Epstein dossier that Catherine referred to. And then that was like a couple months ago. And now they're just like, yep, there was, he killed himself. Nothing to see here. We don't have any files on it. And then like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, where they're just like, if we released any more information about this, it would re-victimize these people.
Yeah,
so
like
we're not going to do that.
Give a shit.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that. Like the people who you go through their following list, and it's just all like rape victim else. yeah, we're against re-victimizing people.
Yeah.
Did you see the prison video they released, which
wasn't even his cell, and there's a minute missing from the metadata. I'm glad Matt's on the show, because Matt, They are dabbing on us. We are
They're
being
dabbing
dabbed
on
on
us.
to an unprecedented degree.
They're dabbing on us, and they love eating shit. That's the thing. It's like Texas, don't tread on me or whatever. Remember that Ted Cruz, like literally like the unprecedented cold snap. He's just fucking off to Cancun.
He was on vacation again during
Like
this
that.
big flood. The
Yeah.
man is always on vacation.
He was in Mykonos. Like he's a college student in Berlin.
Like he's a gay college student in Berlin.
Yeah. I mean, like Trump should release like a jib jab of Jeffrey Epstein. Make a jib jab where he's in the Manhattan Detention Center and have him go, I'm killing myself because I know anti-Semitism from the pro-Palestine people is going to get so bad in the 5 years after my death. Goodbye. I'm going back to my home planet. And he could go, see?
These people love falling for like shitty AI images. They could just do it that way.
Oh man, I saw someone post, you remember the Elon and Trump dancing video?
Oh, yeah.
I saw someone sincerely go, I miss this vibe.
That was Utah Senator Mike Lee.
Oh, that was Mike. Man,
I believe so, yeah.
Excuse me, based Mike Lee.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, he needs to kill himself. Like now.
Based killed himself.
Yeah.
Like Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, like this kind of bait and switch, like I to be fair, I am seeing a lot of Trump supporters be genuinely angry about this and are using languages like we've been betrayed. Give me more shit. I can't wait to eat it. But I have been seeing like more on the intelligentsia on the right. They've moved on to either saying there's nothing to see here, or like this is a waste of time to I don't know, try to get justice or accountability of this massive blackmail ring and its its effects it may have on our government or democracy. But like some of them have just come out to be like Jeffrey Epstein is cool and he was a hero.
Yeah.
And that or just that ephebophilia is part of Western civilization, and Jeffrey Epstein was one of our greatest philosophers and supporters.
It's a Judeo-Christian value.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, it was probably sad for Jeffrey Epstein to not be around for Compact. He would have loved it.
Yeah, he would have loved a lot that's come after his death.
I was thinking that with my dad. It was like, oh, he would have loved Game of Thrones.
It's hard to tell where this is going because I've also seen reactions from people to just be like, yes, Trump is a pedophile, but he's still the greatest president America's ever had, and we need to support his deportation ethnic cleansing regime.
Well,
and
I'm interested to see like how based on that, it feels like QAnon is pretty washed at this point, right? Like you don't really hear about it anymore, and this is kind of the tip of the QAnon mainstream spear. So if you're seeding okay, Trump is a pedophile, but he's the best pedophile, where do you go from there?
Hard to say.
Yeah, that's a good point. There really is nowhere to go.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, seeding the point that he is a pedophile is all right, well, so pedophiles are good, I guess, or there are some good ones if they're on yours, it's a non-starter.
I mean, it would be foolish to just unilaterally disarm in the pedophile race when our opponents are also pedophiles.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you would feel like Ukraine giving their nukes back to Russia.
White hat's pedophile.
No, literally. Now people are saying that Jeffrey Epstein was a white hat pedophile, and that he was actually working to blackmail Israel on behalf of the United States. I've seen that take as well.
Who's saying what the fuck?
I'm posting a ContraPoint style notes app bemoaning if that's true. If Jeffrey Epstein actually was blackmailing Israel, I'm feeling the despair. I'm feeling the misery,
the bitterness.
Yeah.
Cry Freedom, it's a documentary. It's basically it's the function, the send the pedophile to catch the pedophile,
Oh, they
never trust a pedophile.
Right, I was going to say they should change the shirts. Sometimes trust a pedophile.
Yeah, It's like the movie trope where it's like, okay, we gotta catch the worst criminal, the biggest thief in the world, so we gotta release this other thief that's in prison. You know, you need a pedophile like Donald Trump to be loosed on the world to catch the other pedophiles.
Go undercover.
Yeah.
This would like doing the Blacklist, but with Jared Fogle in the James Spader role. It'd be a great show.
Well, I mean, yeah, like you referenced it earlier, but like the Nancy Pelosi's daughter, her famous tweet where she's like, "We have to follow this wherever it goes, and some of our faves may need to not be our faves anymore." I mean, like the right wing are just doing that right now, I actually kind of respect it because they're going a step further because they're like, Jeffrey Epstein is still our fave. And he's our fave because of all the rape he did.
Well, and our faves are still our faves.
Yeah, we might discover new faves watching these tapes.
I saw someone, one of those like sort of Bronze Age pervert reply guys say that like, I look up to Jeffrey Epstein and Sam Bankman-Fried because there aren't too many white international criminals and we need a couple. And they're cool.
It's just
they're cool because of the crimes they did.
Re-education camp. There's no resuscitation possible.
Remember when like international criminal, it was like a jewel thief? You know, it was like that movie Diabolique.
No, it's just international pedophilia.
Yeah. It reminds me of the come down bit of like the rapper bragging about doing time for CP.
Moving on to the, like I said, I don't know where this is going to go. It does seem like a lot of Trump fans are genuinely disappointed by this, but I have been enjoying seeing the sort of based right-wing intelligentsia all decide sort of concurrently that there's nothing to see here. This is a big distraction. You're a loser if you care about Epstein, and also he was cool.
Yeah, maybe you like really made your bones on this. Maybe you made a movie about it. I don't know. And, you know, now it just doesn't matter anymore. And in fact, it never mattered. And, you know, you're gay and cringe if you're saying, what about that?
Yeah, it's gay to care about anything except for Latin mass. I don't know if for or against. I don't know. My knowledge ends there. I have to read the Wikia. I'm sorry, but that is the only thing to care about.
Yeah.